Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 10 Minutes Daily Cafe Chat. It is Tuesday, March 24th, 2026. I'm Emily.
And I am Lisa. Good morning.
How is your Tuesday going so far, Lisa?
Pretty good. I finally tried that new bakery that opened down the street.
Oh, the one that always has a huge line outside?
Yes, I waited 20 minutes just to get a single croissant.
20 minutes? Was it worth the wait?
Honestly, yes. It was still warm from the oven. Best breakfast I have had in a while.
Nice. Sometimes the simple things are the best. Okay, great stories today. First, Meta and the $80 billion lost on the metaverse story. Turns out it's not what you think. I have been curious about that one. Then, the airline industry is facing its worst crisis since the pandemic. Oh no, that sounds serious. And finally, New York City's subway is getting a massive upgrade, and the iconic orange seats might disappear.
Wait, the orange seats? Those are legendary.
If you are new here, welcome. We turn real news into casual cafe chat. Just 10 minutes, perfect for listening or shadowing. Subscribe and practice with us every day.
We are so happy you're here.
Today's keyword is pivot.
Pivot, like when you spin around?
Kind of. A pivot means changing direction, especially a big strategic shift.
Got it. Like, I was going to cook dinner, but then I pivoted to ordering pizza.
Perfect example. See if you can spot how it connects to today's stories. Let us start with our first story. Headlines say Meta burned $80 billion on the metaverse.
Yeah, I read about this. The number is real, right?
It is. Over $80 billion in cumulative losses, $19 billion in 2025 alone.
But people miss that Reality Labs is not just the metaverse.
Exactly. It is not just Horizon Worlds, that virtual world nobody visited.
I remember when it came out and people made fun of it because the avatars didn't have legs.
Dark days for avatars everywhere. But Reality Labs also makes Quest VR headsets and the Ray-Ban Meta smart glasses.
And those glasses are actually selling really well. EssilorLuxottica said sales tripled.
Tripled! So $80 billion wasted on the metaverse lumps VR, glasses, and hardware research all together. That's unfair. Like saying someone wasted money on cooking lessons because one cake failed. Maybe they're baking great bread now. Great analogy. And the article says Zuckerberg's real goal was never about virtual worlds. What was it then? His real goal has been to stop relying on Apple and Google. Facebook and Instagram run on their phones. He does not control those platforms.
Oh, like the iOS privacy update in 2021. That cost Meta about $10 billion in ad revenue.
Exactly. Apple changes one rule and billions disappear. That's terrifying if you're Zuckerberg.
So that's why he keeps investing in new platforms. VR, glasses, AI, different roads, same destination.
Exactly right. The technology changes, but the strategy stays the same. Own the platform.
So the metaverse wasn't a failure, it was one attempt at solving a bigger problem.
And now he's shifted massively toward AI, spending billions on data centers and talent.
But even the AI push is about the same thing, right? Owning the platform.
You got it. If AI changes how we interact with technology, he wants Meta's AI to be the one people use.
It's a smart long game when you think about it.
His CTO, Andrew Bosworth, tweeted this week that the metaverse isn't dead, it's evolving.
I'm not fully convinced the metaverse will go mainstream, but thinking decades ahead instead of chasing quarterly profits, I respect that.
The headlines are dramatic, but the real story is a company trying to control its future. Speaking of companies facing huge challenges, our second story is about airlines. The industry is going through its biggest crisis since the pandemic.
Wait, really? Were they not just reporting record profits?
They were, but the military conflict in the Middle East has changed everything in the last month.
How bad is it?
Jet fuel has doubled in price, and fuel accounts for about a third of airline costs.
So that is a massive hit. But what does this mean for regular travelers?
Higher ticket prices. The EasyJet CEO said fuel spiked after Ukraine in 2022, but this has gone further north, meaning even higher.
Further north. That is a worrying way to put it.
He called it the most severe upheaval since the pandemic.
Okay, but honestly, it is hard to feel sorry for airlines. They charge extra for everything now. Baggage, seat selection, even snacks.
Fair point, but the scale here is different. The 20 largest airlines have lost about $53 billion in market value since the war began.
53 billion? That's staggering.
And investors are actively betting against airlines. Wizz Air is now the most shorted company in the FTSE 100.
What does shorted mean?
Investors borrow shares and sell them, betting the price drops more. They profit when stocks go down.
So even Wall Street thinks it gets worse? Not reassuring. What about flights?
Flights through the Gulf region are heavily disrupted. Plus, cargo normally shipped by sea is shifting to planes, overwhelming airports.
So even things we order online could be affected?
Possibly. The entire logistics chain is under pressure. If fuel stays high, summer travel could be much more expensive.
That is scary. Every year travel gets more expensive.
Airlines that survived the pandemic hoped for smooth sailing. This crisis came out of nowhere.
If you're planning a summer trip, lock in your tickets sooner rather than later.
Solid advice. Totally different mood now. Still transportation, but underground. New York's subway is getting a makeover.
I love subway stories. So much personality.
The MTA announced the largest train car purchase ever. Over 1,200 cars on the 1, 3, and 6 lines.
Over 1,200. That is huge.
And there's an option for 1,000 more on top of that. So potentially over 2,000 new cars? The MTA chairman said, in one procurement, we replace roughly a third of the entire fleet.
A third? I rode the 6 train last time I visited. Those cars felt like 80s time capsules.
That's when they were built. And here's the emotional part.
The orange seats. Those bright orange plastic seats are iconic, and they are going away.
Right. The new cars, called R262s, have a completely different design. The biggest change is called an open gangway.
Open gangway? Sounds like a pirate ship. Walk the gangway!
Not quite. It means no walls or doors between cars. One long, continuous space from end to end.
Oh, like modern subway systems in Asia. I saw those in a YouTube travel vlog. They look so spacious.
Exactly. Plus, LED lighting instead of old fluorescent lights.
As much as I love the nostalgia of the orange seats, the new design sounds way better for everyday riding.
One MTA official, Jesse Lazarus, had a great quote. Every time I board one of them, I expect to run into Cyndi Lauper or Run DMC.
That is hilarious. He's saying those trains belong in an 80s time machine.
And the price tag? Up to $11 billion.
11 billion?
But for infrastructure millions use daily, probably worth it. I agree. The one catch is timing. These new cars won't arrive until the early 2030s.
The 2030s? So 4 or 5 more years in those time capsules?
I know, it's a long wait, but the MTA president said new R211 cars are coming to the B line soon.
Well, at least that's something. If you're visiting New York, though, ride the 6 train and take a selfie on those orange seats while you can.
Fun mix today. Meta's $80 billion question, airlines in a fuel crisis, and New York saying goodbye to its orange seats.
I am still thinking about Meta. Failure might just be a really expensive work in progress. Fascinating.
And it connects to our keyword. Pivot means making a big shift. Zuckerberg pivoted to AI. Airlines might pivot their pricing. The MTA is pivoting to open gangway cars.
I love when the keyword ties everything together.
Today's question: if you could pivot to a new career tomorrow, what would you try?
Food photography, traveling, eating amazing food, taking beautiful pictures. So, Lisa, I would try marine biology, swimming with whales.
Your turn. Drop your answer in the comments. If you liked today's episode, hit like and subscribe so we can chat tomorrow.
We upload every single day, something new always waiting for you.
Have a wonderful Tuesday, everyone, and if you are traveling, book those tickets soon.
Great advice. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Bye. And I am definitely getting another croissant tomorrow.